when we were last assembled for our convention. It was November of 2008, 2 months before Lehman Brothers, after 150 years, had collapsed. Financial institutions all over the world, and significantly on Wall Street, were collapsing. They were in peril. They were in need of, and many were about to receive, historic bailouts. The North American auto industry was in peril. World financial markets were crumbling. Economists the world over-tendered their forecasts for job losses around the world, deep job losses, for plunging GDP, and there was fear. Here in Saskatchewan, we were met at this convention. This party was here, gathered together at our annual convention. Do you remember? There was concern in Saskatchewan, to be sure. We were concerned. We knew that a trading economy would not be immune to such a global economic downturn. But if the world's economic currency a year ago was fear, if the stock in trade for the world a year ago or a year and a few months ago was fear, then here in Saskatchewan, do you remember? We were still the central bank for hope. There was then, and there is now, a cautious optimism and a confidence in the face of this historic worldwide recession. And in the months that have intervened, survey after survey of our people and our businesses has shown that that confidence has been steadfast. People in this province continue, though they watch the news every night about the apocalypse happening economically around the world, they remained hopeful here in the province of Saskatchewan. They remained confident in the future, proud of our status as a have province, determined that it would not come to an end, unwilling to go back to another time when our leadership was satisfied that we would be at the back of or in the middle of the pack economically in the country, determined that we would not be held back by a vision of stagnation or of decline or of mediocrity. So what happened since November of 2008 in the province? Was our hope well placed, or was our confidence ill-considered? Well, consider that question with me. What did happen? Since then, we have led the nation with the lowest unemployment rate in the country. In the middle of a recession last summer, we set a record in this province for the most people working ever, the most jobs ever. During this recession, we have been one of only 2 jurisdictions year over year to actually create jobs, one of 2 in the country. We broke our own record for capital investment in the province last year in the middle of a recession. That's what happened. We set a record for new births in the province of Saskatchewan. That's what happened. I'm not sure if that's a sign of our confidence or not, but I could tell you not very long ago, last fall, CanWest did a poll of the impact of the recession on Canadians' sex lives, and 92% of the people in this province, which was the highest in the country, 92% of the people in this province said that the recession had not affected their sex life at all. So that's up too. What else was happening during a recession in our province? During a recession, for the first time in 17 years, our student enrollment stopped its decline and began to go another direction. For the first time in 17 years, in the middle of a worldwide recession, our student enrollment went up. That's what was happening in the province of Saskatchewan. In the middle of a recession, the CFIB did a survey of cities in the country. They asked their members, that's the Federation of Independent Business, they asked their members, what's the best place, what's the best city in which to do business? And they rated the top 10, and 5 of the top 10, 50%, though we account for 3% of the economy, 5 of the top 10 were from the province of Saskatchewan. A number of months in 2009, we broke building permit records set in the precedent-setting year of 2008. That's what was happening in Saskatchewan during a recession. And then in December of this last year, December of 2009, before Christmas and without a lot of fanfare, StatsCan issued its population report. It announced to the world that during that recession, in the months of that very difficult time around the world, Saskatchewan just kept growing. They confirmed that people from distant shores and neighboring provinces, expatriates and new patriots, new friends and old friends, were coming to Saskatchewan. They were coming home, or they were coming here anew. They were coming in search of opportunity in the midst of calamity. They were coming in search of hope in the midst of fear. They were coming for jobs. And we are better for it today, ladies and gentlemen, because of all of those people who have come. Because of our population growth, there are more taxpayers today in the province of Saskatchewan. That makes Rod Ganafor happy. There are more seniors in the province. There are more students. There are more people in pews in church on Sunday morning. Charitable organizations can count on more volunteers and more donors. There are more members for service clubs. There are more people to be in unions or maybe to not be in unions, more workers in the province. There are more business people in the province of Saskatchewan. Those numbers confirm. There are more citizens of the Rider Nation now than there ever has been before. Our population may have actually grown by just one too many in... Was that too early? It was maybe too early. No. Ladies and gentlemen, imagine that. Stats Canada reports in December that notwithstanding the recession, Saskatchewan had broke its population record, that there were more people living in this province than ever before. Doesn't sound like a bust to me. Ladies and gentlemen, our government's always been quick and ready to give credit where it was due for economic progress that we've been making in the province, and so a lot of these factors are external. It doesn't really matter who the government is for a lot of the factors. There was even some things the previous government did with respect to business taxes that we need to acknowledge as part of this phenomenal story. But I believe our government can rightfully claim that it was a powerful force for good in helping us weather, more than weather, helping us succeed in the face of a worldwide recession. There were decisions we took before it ever began that have stood us very well through these difficult times. We broke, ladies and gentlemen, you know this, we broke the record for income tax relief in the province of Saskatchewan. We offered the largest single-year income tax cut in history. And that helped our economy. We undertook the largest education tax relief in the history of the province, and that also helped with the economic story. We undertook the largest infrastructure investments in the history of the province. In our first budget year, almost $1.5 billion. In the next one, $1 billion, fixing schools that have been ignored for 10 years and building roads, trying to reduce the infrastructure gap in highways, investing in healthcare, infrastructure investment that helped the economy move forward. And I say with all due respect to the efforts of previous administrations, I believe, ladies and gentlemen, that our government has also taken steps to promote our province like no other government before, to tell our story, to make sure we're out there attracting investment. Sometime this year, I think you're going to see Saskatchewan leap past Alberta as the #1 producer of conventional oil in the country. We'll probably announce it when that happens, maybe. We might put out a press release or something. It's because of the great deal of interest in our energy sector. But you know what, even given that, and even given stable royalty rates, which we're going to continue to offer in the province, we had, in this province of ours, only ever sort of been order takers when it comes to people that wanted to prospect or develop that asset. We only basically answered the phone if they were interested in a land sale for oil and gas, the rights to develop oil and gas. We changed that in terms of this plan to promote the province.